What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching. Hey, this is this week's top 3 books of the week. Now, there were some good books. I didn't get that many books overall, but I got some good books. And it was a little bit difficult to come up with this top 3, but I feel like this top 3 is worthy of this week. So, let's check it out. Starting with number 3, A.X.E. Judgment Day number 6. Now, this book right here, it was good, and it kind of aggravated me at the same time a little bit, you know. The way that the Avengers and the Eternals and they all came together and they defeated the Celestial, I was kind of surprised on how it happened. They basically took and twisted his thing on him, really, you know? They kind of got into his head a little bit. That's the way I took it. And they ended up judging him, and he fell for it, so he was gone, basically, right? So it's weird because I liked it and I hated that at the same time, because I'm like, I expected more. I expected it to end a little bit more dramatically. But at the same time, I do like the plot twist, so to speak. So, you know, that was about halfway through the book, and then like pretty much the second half of the book almost kind of, you know, started showing the aftermath of everything. And you know, it was pretty interesting. So I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but A.X.E. Judgment Day number 6, the conclusion, up until the Omega issue comes out in a couple weeks, but the conclusion to the Judgment Day big summer event from Marvel, it's over. So, you know, it was good. So that's my number 3 book of the week, A.X.E. Judgment Day number 6. And my number 2 book of the week is The Amazing Spider-Man number 12. Now, this story is getting interesting. Basically, it ends with 2 hobgoblins now. So, but this book picks up where issue number 11 left off. Now, if you remember, at the end of issue 11, Norman Osborn goes and meets with Kingsley, not with Peter Parker like he had said he was going to do. So Hobgoblin crashed the party, destroys the whole place. So this picks up where that destruction was left off and whatever. So, you know, you got the ambulance and the fire, the police and everybody coming to clean through the wreckage and the destruction. And you know, Osborn's in the middle of all of that, and he gets taken to the hospital. Kingsley was in there too, but he gets out of there. So, you know, it's interesting because Peter Parker visits Osborn in the hospital, and, you know, he's still questioning. Peter Parker's still questioning Norman Osborn if he's still truly changed, pretty much. And Norman Osborn's like, I can assure you that I am a changed man still. So, you know, so Peter Parker ends up getting into his bat suit. Wow, I'm thinking of Batman. Getting into his spider suit, and you know, he's gliding through there, you know, and along comes the Hobgoblin, and a little bit of destruction. This right here, this panel, it's a good-looking panel, but the thing is right here, just the way that's drawn, I actually thought something was going through Peter Parker's chest and stabbing him, but it's just like a piece of wood or something flying across the air. So, yeah, I had to look at that for a few minutes. I'm like, wait a minute, did he just get stabbed? But because if you look right here, Hobgoblin gets him from behind. So that's kind of what made me think that. I'm like, yeah. But that wasn't the case, thankfully. So so they're battling Hobgoblin and Spider-Man. They're flying through the air on their little boards, and Peter Parker gets the best of Hobgoblin, of course, just for a minute. So, man, it's just, it's kind of confusing to me a little bit, honestly, because it's like a classic tale of who's who, because nobody could really tell who the Hobgoblin is, really. But Ned Leeds, yeah, I'm really thinking he's the Hobgoblin, along with Kingsley. I don't know. Still not quite sure, because at the end right here, it says, they're talking about Ned Leeds, and he kind of walks in right here. He's like, maybe you should take a harder look at Ned Leeds. Spider-Man's all beat up on the ground. It was my pleasure to put him back where he belonged, in the Winkler device. Yeah. One Hobgoblin is back. Right? And then you flip the page. Boom. And Ned Leeds makes 2. To be continued. So, yeah. It's going to be an interesting issue number 13. So, yeah. So, Amazing Spider-Man number 12. My number 2 book of the week. And before we get to our number 1 book of the week, please like, comment, subscribe, and also check out my Facebook and Instagram page. I'll leave the link below so you can check those out. Hey, let's try to connect. And yeah, thank you for watching. So, with my number 1 book of the week, I gotta say, the first issue was awesome. Didn't know what to expect from it. But then I read it, and it got me hooked. So, book number 2 of Vanish is my number 1 book of the week. Now, the first thing about this book is it starts off and it kind of rehashes 9/11. I mean, in a kind of dramatic way a little bit, but there's a lesson in the events in this book behind the 9/11 bit that's in here. But, I would say that 9/11 is a very tough time for a lot of people. I remember it myself personally. And, thankfully, I didn't know anybody personally affected by it as far as being at the towers or anything or in DC. But there's a lot of people, it's just a lot of dramatic trauma for a lot of people. So because of that, I would say if you fall into that category, I might not recommend this book. Now, it's only a few pages in the beginning of the book, but still, maybe you can go past them or something. But anyway, with that being said, this book is awesome. I mean, it introduces a new character, and Oliver, the main character, it's his best friend, Deacon Dust. He's like this master illusionist, and he puts on shows and stuff now for the people as a magician, and he's kind of out of the whole history thing. He's trying to just live a normal life. So it's pretty awesome how things progress in this book. I feel like this book, issue number 2, it's taking issue number 1 and it kind of builds on that slightly, and then it's going to set us up for issue number 3. But yeah, man, it's amazing. This is an amazing book. The artwork in here, I mean, of course, I wouldn't expect anything less than great. I mean, yeah. So here's Deacon Dust, his introduction to the book, to this world. But yeah, I mean, the artwork is great, man. So he's a little arrogant, a little bit, and stuff. But I feel like this story is gonna be great. Now the villains, you know, they're all right here. They're kind of talking about the events a little bit, and they're realizing that Oliver is back. And that's kind of how this book ends right here. Because, just slightly backtrack a little bit. I forget this little guy's name. The little small tough guy. But they had these things, and Oliver was wearing it as well. It's this thing that they could put on their face to kind of cover up all the wounds, just to make them look normal, basically. So this guy takes it off, and yeah, that's him. See, like the little glowy gold stuff. So yeah. And also in the back of here, and I haven't read this yet, but also in the back, it has a Do a Powerbomb preview. And I know this book has been getting a lot of high praise from a lot of people. So, you know, I'll be able to check that out and, you know, see about that in the future. But yeah, Vanish, issue number 2 is my #1 book of the week. Check it out. Definitely recommend.